Coming up on the live stream, President Trump talks numbers.
So these are numbers that are not numbers that other presidents would have.
So that's something. All kinds of technical difficulties today. Welcome, everybody. Busy news day, and YouTube is not cooperating at all, so we're going to try and get through this. I see that several of you have now told me that I have no sound, so that's good. That's my end, not YouTube's end, and that's why I'm a professional. So some of you have YouTube up. That's great. I'm going to wait until somebody from Twitter comes in here so I know that that's operational. YouTube was delayed almost a minute here. Thank you, Random. You can hear me now. Hi, Dr. Howard. Hello, Stephanie. And anybody else who's in here as well. Hello, at Random. Let's go to one more thing on my end here so I make sure that we are up and running. Hi, Jana. Good to see you. If you are watching on any of the platforms, the best platform to watch on is to go to youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. There it goes right there. So a couple of Trump news conferences today, and that's what we're going to cover first. And then I think I'm going to take a break and then come back with Trump's interviews from yesterday because there's some gold in there as well. The two news conferences are pretty much, my numbers are great. And then he came back like a few minutes later and just did a rerun. And as you'll see, after criticizing Joe Biden for not doing a news conference in, 89 days or whatever it was, and then criticizing him for reading the answers off of teleprompters, which is complete nonsense, he took no questions in either of the two press conferences. So let's get to it. Let me pull that up and make sure that we're good there and that I can see you guys. Again, if you want the fastest chat, and it looks like maybe the only chat that's working today, and there's me in my ear, let me do this. I'm going to check Twitter and make sure that we're up and running on Twitter as well, because like I said, I think it was probably on Restream's end that things were going poorly here, but once we get up and running, we're good to go. I am not seeing us on Twitter. I don't know if I can start us again on Twitter. Hold on a second here, guys. No, I am not up and running on Twitter, and I want my Twitter peeps to be in here as well. Let's see if I can fix that. Periscope, yeah. And we are not going live on Periscope. I might have to restart. Yeah, this was all screwed up from the very beginning. So, guys, go to my YouTube page if you're watching on there. On Twitch, it should restart as well. I'm going to try and reboot this thing. It's going to do a 60-second countdown. And we'll start all over again. And this time, my mic's going to be on because I'm a professional. So, Joanna, come right back. Stephanie, etc., etc. My voice is going already too. So I'm going to restart so our friends on Twitter can watch as well. For some reason, it didn't start up. So see you in a minute. Coming up on the live stream, President Trump talks numbers.
So these are numbers that are not numbers that other presidents would have.
So that's something. And it looks like we're back again. It looks like the good people at Twitter are with us as well. If you're on Twitter, do me a favor, or Periscope, say hi in the chat room that you're on. If you'd like to do the best chat is at YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. I'm looking at it right now. We are up on YouTube, so we'd love to see you there. But again, if you are on Twitch or Twitter, let me know. Just say hi in the chat room and we'll get going. We've got 2 press conferences to cover today. If you guys are still in the YouTube room, you should be. Say something, just say YouTube, and then I'll know that people are up on YouTube and we are good to go as well. It looks like I was able to take the broadcast down, but continue going with the same YouTube broadcast. Okay, Lynn is here. Welcome, Lynn. Hi, Kim. Okay, good. We're quite delayed. Andy, good to see you. So it looks like we're quite delayed on Twitter. Again, Facebook is the faster place to... There's Jana, there's Dr. Howard. Okay, we're good to go, guys. And so it looks like some technical things are going on here today. Certainly not on my end. But we do have some things to cover, including if David ever joins the room. We have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned. Here is the President of the United States.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Hey, Marfa.
This is mostly
Hey,
an
Lizzie.
economic conference, and we have Steve Mnuchin with us, Larry Kudlow. I'd like to just announce the spectacular news for American workers and American families and for our country as a whole. There's not been anything like this, a record-setting. It was just put out that the United States economy added almost 5 million jobs in the month of June, shattering all expectations. I was watching this morning, and the expectations were much lower than that. The stock market is doing extremely well, which means to me jobs. That's what it means, jobs. This is the largest monthly jobs gain.
Stock market does not mean jobs. Typically, when unemployment goes up, the stock market goes up as well, because a lot of times people get laid off. But anyway, that's a bigger economic question.
In the history of our country.
Yeah, because this is what this is like. A guy is coaching a football team and getting hammered. And so the other team puts in the backup quarterback eventually. And then the second string defense. And then the third string quarterback. And then the fourth string quarterback. And then the cheerleader named Chaz. And he plays the end of the game. And you're in the dressing room celebrating a touchdown. Or for this matter, a field goal. Here's the thing. He's going to say repeatedly here that he created jobs and we added new jobs. None of these are new jobs. These are just jobs that we had and that they went away because he screwed up the COVID response. We had to shut things down. And even when we shut down, we did a terrible job shutting down, as Dr. Fauci explained today.
Too soon.
In the United States, even in the most strict lockdown, only about 50% of the country locked down. That allowed the perpetuation of the outbreak that we never did get under very good control.
That's exactly what happened. We never got the outbreak under control, because even when we locked down, we only kind of locked down. It's like being kind of pregnant. In a couple of months, something's going to happen. This is what Dr. Fauci said today as well, which is really going to upset Trump when he hears it.
Is winning the war against the coronavirus.
You've been losing this battle, haven't you, recently?
Admittedly, yes, we have. We cannot give up because it appears that we're losing the battle.
Dr. Fauci, we are losing the battle. And then there was Dan Patrick, of the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, the other day saying that he wasn't going to pay attention to Dr. Fauci anymore. So, moving on. Oh, yeah, let me explain to you why we didn't actually gain 5 million jobs. Not even close. 4.7 million jobs were jobs that already existed and people had been laid off and were coming back to those jobs because we're reopening and getting more cases. Or they're PPP jobs. In other words, the small business owners, maybe some of you in here, took the money from the government, which is free money as long as they pay the employees and hire them back. So there's people out there not working and getting paid to do it. None of that is real jobs. In actual real jobs, see if you guys can see this. Yeah, you should be able to. Actual, real, honest to goodness American permanent jobs. We lost 588,000 of them. That's probably way too small for you guys to see, but you're going to have to trust me. Here we go. I can zoom this up. Number of unemployed persons were on temporary layoff, decreased by 4.8. This is just temporary layoff. And then to answer your next question, if you've been paying attention to the broadcast, that's a fairly accurate number in terms of 11 to 12% unemployed, because rather than take everybody who was other and say, oh, they're on vacation, as we were for the first couple of months, they're now asking further questions beyond other, meaning was this COVID related, et cetera, et cetera. And so they suspect that the unemployment rate is only about a percentage to 2 higher than they thought it was, as opposed to 3%. So let's just say it's 12%. Whatever it is, greatest numbers ever. Negative 12% unemployment.
The unemployment rate fell by more than 2 percentage points, down to just about 11%.
Hey,
We're
Rich.
down to the 11% number. We started at a number very much higher than that. As you know, we broke the record last month, and we broke it again this month in an even bigger way. This news comes on top of May.
That's what happens when you break a record. It's bigger than by definition. He's going to spend this entire press conference double explaining everything. Everything he says, he's going to explain it twice. So when he says something, he's going to say it exactly the same. Oh, you get it.
Extraordinary jobs report, which was revised.
Hey, Producer Green Room, I just wanted to say, Executive Producer Green Room, I just wanted to say hi. We waited as long as we could last night, and then we broadcast after we figured you'd be in bed. I should probably say the opposite of that. So good to see you, Executive Producer Green Room. Anybody else that I've missed in here? Not that I see. Danielle, the moderator's back, so feel free to swear up a fucking storm.
Upwards, by the way, to 2.7 million jobs. It was 2.5. That was last month, and that was a record setter.
What?
Which was revised upwards, by the way.
Hold on.
To
I think he's got this
in an even
backwards.
bigger way. This news comes on top of May's extraordinary jobs report, which was revised upwards, by the way, to 2.7 million jobs. It was 2.5. That was last month, and that was a record setter.
Hey, Chris.
But it actually got a little bit better. We revised it. It was revised upward to 2.7.
Yeah, on your screens, guys, what's the more accurate human skin color? Am I super white, or is he really, really orange today? Or is it a combination of both?
7 million jobs for a combined total of 7.5 million jobs created in the last 2 months, and that's a record.
None of these jobs are created. These are all temporary layoffs. We have lost permanent jobs. We doubled that loss this month. That number will continue to climb because things are starting to shut down, etc. Anyway, this is not a rosy jobs report at all. And he's out there making a victory round.
Record by many millions of jobs, so it's 7.5 million jobs created in the last 2 months alone.
Hey, Halibut.
Today's
Everybody's
announcement proves that our economy is roaring back. It's coming back extremely strong.
That is not what it proves.
We have some.
This is literally socialism doing its thing. This is the government giving business owners money to pay their employees who may or may not actually be working. That's socialism. I mean, that's the definition.
Areas where we're putting out the flames or the fires, and that's working out well. We're working very closely with governors, and I think it's working out very well.
Are we putting out the flames and the fires? If you've been watching the broadcast, those of you who are new, come on into the chat room if you want to. You don't have to. I was thinking about this the other day. Honestly, I rarely chat if I'm watching something like this. In fact, I rarely watch something like this because it's me and I just did it. And what would be the... Well, you know what I'm saying. But the best place to chat is at youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. If you want to support this kind of broadcast, if you're out there at home like Kevinly Brother and Kevinly Sister-in-Law, and you want to support them, just like Cousin Larry did yesterday, Kevinly Brother, you can become a patron by going to KevinLeeFather.com. And that way, I get money. Because so far out of unemployment, I've got so much unemployment news. I don't have time for all of the news today. Let's keep going.
I think you'll see that shortly. In June, we added 2.1 million leisure and hospitality jobs, 740,000 retail jobs, 568,000 education and healthcare jobs, 357,000 service jobs. These are all historic numbers. And 300.
How did we add 2.7 million leisure and hospitality jobs. Where a lot of hotels closed down or something? There's a bigger number in there somewhere.
150.
If someone can figure that out, put it in the chat room.
6,000 manufacturing jobs, and manufacturing looks like it's ready to really take off at a level that it's never been
Thank God, because it went into a serious contraction under your tariffs.
before, and a lot of that has to do with our trade policy, because we're bringing manufacturing back to our country, and these take a long time
Hey, Marcy.
to get going, and they're now going. So these are historic numbers. I'm really
Literally takes no time to add a manufacturing job.
happy when
It takes a long time to get the manufacturing going, but those aren't the numbers he's talking about. You start with the jobs.
I see 356,000 manufacturing jobs, and that's just a small number compared to what it will be soon because of our great trade deals. African American workers, really happily for me, made historic gains with 404,000 jobs added last month alone, and that's a record. And the second largest jump will be last month, and what we have, if you add the 2 months together, it's 700,000 jobs for African American workers.
African American unemployment went up last month. Maybe there's a revision somewhere, but African American unemployment went up by 0.1 last month. So who knows? Again, these are not numbers he's making up. Put a pin in that.
Added in the last 2 months, and that's a record by a lot. Likewise, Hispanic employment is up by 1.5 million jobs, a record by a lot. Hispanic employment up 1.5 million jobs. 3 million more women were employed in the month of June, a record.
He's already at 5.5, and he hasn't talked about white males yet, so that explains why I'm not doing anything.
Never had a number like that. Workers with a high school education or less made the biggest strides of all. So,
yeah,
people that have just a high school education or have less than a high school education.
Oh, that's what workers with a high school education or less means. If you have a high school education or you have, do we need to hear that again, guys? Because now I'm lost. Really, as I've said before, he's America's teacher.
With unemployment, those without a high school diploma dropped a full 3.3 percentage points. That's the largest drop in recorded history.
Yeah, you can tell them anything.
80% of small businesses are now open, 80%. And we think we're going to have some very good numbers in the coming months because others are opening.
Not in California, they're not.
And especially as we put the flame out, getting rid of the flame, it's happening. New business applications have doubled since late March.
New business applications plummeted in March because we had the coronavirus. So to double that is... Plus, the government's giving socialized subsidies to start new businesses. So, yeah.
Number that...
Plus, nobody could apply in April because everything was shut down. So...
is not even thinkable to achieve this early into a pandemic. The latest ISM manufacturing...
Women's job rates were actually the highest they ever were in World War II, Dr. Howard. Somebody can fact check that. Let's not go into it right now, but apparently, Chris or at random, you're the appointed fact checkers on that. So have at it.
Manufacturing report rose 10 percentage points, with new orders jumping a remarkable 25 percentage points, all a record. Consumer confidence, which is great. That's a great number to me because that means confidence is really good. If you don't have good consumer confidence, it's like life. If you don't have confidence, you're not going to do very well. Consumer confidence has risen 12 points since April.
He explained that 3 times as well. This is like you've been in a coma for 3 months, and then that first day you wake up and you say, I'm drinking 100% more liquid than I was.
And 6-month job expectations hit the all-time high.
Dr. Howard's wondering if the highest female unemployment was during World War II.
So think of that for a second. With all we go through,
It says, think of that for a second on all of this. And we gained 3.2%. America is up 3.2. Think of that for a second. Usually when he's lost his place in the paper, he'll say a number and then he'll look up and then he's looking around. Think of that. Think that for... Hold on, guys. I need you to think of that for a second. And
with all of the trials and tribulations that we read about every night, much of it totally fake news.
Tribulations. Reminds me of the Eddie Murphy character in, what was it? The Nutty Professor? The lady who was all like, Hercules, Hercules. Remember the one where Eddie Murphy played all the characters? Trials and tribulations.
Fortunately. And if the consumer didn't get it, you wouldn't have good consumer confidence. We have consumer confidence has risen 12 points since April.
Has what?
An all-time high. Think of that. Retail sales surged an astonishing 18%. So retail sales went up an astonishing 18% in May.
You just said that.
That's the largest increase in the history of our country. That's a tremendous number. 18%. The number of, and what it means to me is jobs. The number of unemployed Americans re-entering the labor force rose by 43%.
We've lost 40 million jobs. We're just clawing our way back now, which is what's supposed to happen. And these numbers are 3 weeks delayed. So we are now the lagging indicator. Literally, we're in the hospitalization stage of these numbers.
Percent.
Okay, that's not literal.
And fewer workers are dropping out of the labor force than before. And the crisis is being handled. You know, fewer workers are dropping out.
He loses his thought here. Then he loses his place on the paper, and then he just comes out with multiple times here. He tells us that the coronavirus is being handled. Do I even have to pull that up for you guys? I don't think I do. I've got something really interesting we'll talk about when we watch his interview from yesterday. That's a tease. Like me. Hold on. Let's keep watching him and I'll pull it up.
Of the labor force than before. And the crisis is being handled. You know, if you look, we were talking this morning, something to think about. China was way early. And they're getting under control just now. And Europe was way early. And they're getting under control. We followed them with this terrible China virus. And we are likewise getting under control. Some areas that were very hard hit are now doing very well. Some were doing very well, and we thought they may be gone, and they flare up, and we're putting out the fires. But other places were long before us, and they're now, it's a life. It's got a life.
It's a life.
And we're putting out that life, because that's a bad life that we're talking about. But all of this suggests that workers are confident.
He anthropomorphizes the virus and then realizes what he's done, maybe, and then says that it's bad life. You don't want to assign the virus a human characteristic. So I want to show you what you guys, sort of the splicing I put together of that in terms of context on a graph with that stuff. Here we go. We're going to do it this way. Some of you may have seen this already on my Twitters.
We have some areas where we're putting out the flames or the fires, and that's working out well. We're working very closely with governors, and I think it's working out very well. I think you'll see that shortly. And especially as we put the flame out, getting rid of the flame, it's happening. It's a life. It's got a life. And we're putting out that life, because that's a bad life that we're talking about. And the crisis is being handled. You know, if you look, we were talking this morning, something to think about. China was way early, and they're getting under control just now. And Europe was way early, and they're getting under control. We followed them with this terrible China virus, and we are likewise getting under control. This is not just luck, what's happening. This is a lot of talent. These are not numbers made up by me. These are numbers.
So that was a little something I put together on the YouTubes this morning. And some of you saw that already, so I wanted the rest of you to see that because you can see how the graphs work. Here's a graph of the entire planet. This includes Africa in terms of what's going on. With the industrial countries have, as you saw, the European Union there, the graph goes up, 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 and then it goes down, down, down. South Korea just nice and flat because they're doing testing, they're doing containment. I just wanted to give you guys sort of the us compared to the whole world, including Brazil, which is having a terrible time, including Africa, which doesn't have the resources to fight this. This is what the entire world looks like. So that's not good. It goes up, it's a hump, it flattens a little bit, and then it goes up again. I'm doing this backwards. Sorry, guys. That's the way this works. And then just let's keep that in mind and see how gradual a slope that is. I'm guessing that's what, 47.3 degrees? Just let's look at the USA. It's we're going up faster than the developing world. And we have more resources than anyone in the history of the world. All right, back to what's his name.
It's about finding a new job. The stock market is soaring with the best gains in over 20 years.
Soaring.
In the second quarter, the Dow Jones increased 18%. This isn't a quarter, 18. These are not numbers that people have heard about. It's the best in 33 years.
No, these are numbers that people have heard about, but we lost a third of the Dow. So
the S&P 500
wait, China released a vaccine today? Are you being serious, Green Room? That's huge news.
increased by almost 20%, the best since 1998 for the quarter.
Producer Joanna, if he goes to jail for killing us all, you won't know about it. What? Why is Kevin Lee daughter calling me? She's right here. Sorry about the interruption, people.
And NASDAQ increased over 30%, the best since 1999. And we had a 50-month, if you look over a long period of time, a phenomenal number. But if you look since the election, we've gone up. The Dow went up close to 45%. The S&P 500 went up 47%.
He's just picking whatever cherry picking, whatever. You see what I'm doing here. Blah.
And NASDAQ Composite went up getting close to 100%. So these are numbers that are not numbers that other presidents would have, and they won't have it. The only thing they can kill it's a bad president or a president that wants to raise taxes. You want to raise taxes, this whole thing, your 401ks will drop down to nothing, and your stock market will drop down to nothing.
Under him, the
This
stock
is not
market
just
dropped
luck,
by a
what's
third.
happening. This is a lot of talent.
Again,
It will drop down to nothing, and your stock market will drop down to nothing. This is not just luck, what's happening. This is a lot of talent. All of this incredible news is the result of historic actions my administration has taken working with our partners in Congress to rescue the U.S. economy from a horrible event that was formed, took place in China, and came here, and they could have stopped it. They could have stopped it.
We could have stopped it.
Nobody likes to write that, but they could have stopped it. They know it,
You don't
and I
like
know
to say
it.
it. We could have stopped it.
Through the Paycheck Protection Program, we've extended over $520 billion in loans to nearly 5 million small businesses, saving and supporting the jobs of tens of millions of American workers. This has been a tremendous success, levels that nobody's ever seen before. But we saved all of those jobs and all of those small businesses, and some will be large businesses soon, perhaps. We also rushed urgently needed relief to millions and millions of hardworking taxpayers. They got that directly, and we're working on a phase 4. We're working with Congress. That work has started. Steve
Good.
Mnuchin can give you a little briefing.
Because I'm still waiting on it.
Talking about payroll tax cuts. We're talking about more money being infused.
Yeah, but no stimulus package. The Republicans are not talking stimulus bills for the individuals. So, 2 weeks ago, Trump said, yeah, we want to have a stimulus package or a stimulus check come. I think I actually have that. Hold on, guys. Give me a second here. I don't want to waste your time looking for it. But yeah, he said 2 Fridays ago that we were going to have it within a couple of weeks. and it's going to be a stimulus check. He was answering that question, but he just hears one word. He just hears stimulus and confuses it all and conflates everything. To give you an idea, this is an employment chart from Fred, which is the Economic Research Federal Reserve. This is the employment chart to put this all, these amazing numbers. This will put this all into perspective. Here it is. Yeah, this is the beginning of Trump's presidency here. Okay, all that, and then suddenly, boom, coronavirus. We fall off a cliff. We're back here. We're not even halfway back on the graph to where we should be, because he didn't stop the virus. It was always burning, now my stomach's churning. He didn't stop.
And it comes back to us. It comes back. It's all coming back. It's coming back faster, bigger, and better than we ever thought possible.
Phil, that's great news.
These are the numbers. These are not numbers made up by me. These are numbers. We've implemented.
These are not numbers made up by me. These are numbers. So that's what he usually gives us.
Coming
Let's
back.
listen again.
It's coming back faster, bigger, and better than we ever thought possible. These are the numbers. These are not numbers made up by me. These are numbers.
Why would it occur to him that we would think they were numbers made up by him? Why would that enter someone's brain?
We've implemented an aggressive
I said he had a brain. Sorry.
strategy to vanquish and kill the virus and protect Americans at the highest risk, while allowing those at lower risk to return safely to work. That's what's happening. Our health experts continue to address the temporary hotspots in certain cities and counties, and we're working very hard on that, where the relationship.
They are temporary hotspots. Eventually, everyone will die in those hotspots, and then that's over. They're just going to disappear, the people.
With the governors is very good. We made a call. Mike Pence made a call just yesterday and said, what do you need? Not one governor needed anything. They don't need anything. They have all the medical equipment they can have. Thank you, U.S. government. They have all of the ventilators they have. You know, we're giving many ventilators and selling in some cases and giving when needed, but we're the ventilator king. We're now producing thousands of ventilators, thousands of.
Literally in Texas right now, there are hospitals that don't have enough ventilators. This just, I was just watching a doctor. God, I should have pulled it up. I should have saved it for you guys, and I'm sorry that I didn't. There's a doctor. He's got 8 patients, all of them young patients, and he's only got 3 vents. He needs more vents because if more than 3 of them end up needing a vent, and it doesn't matter how old you are, if you need a vent and you don't have a vent, you die. That's it. A ventilator. He was just on TV in Texas, which is part of America. And the Vent King hasn't supplied him with any ventilators.
Ventilators a week, and we're helping other countries.
How about Texas?
And other countries are desperately in need of ventilators.
Texas is going to be in serious need. Some of it are, especially the Houston area. Montgomery, Alabama is still in need. They've been having problems. Arizona, Yakima County, right here in Washington. That direction for you guys. Everybody, grab your phone and look north so that I can accurately.
Because this is now at 189 countries. That changes all the time, that number. Our last count is the countries are desperately in need of ventilators.
He always gets the country count wrong. He had it right for about a month when he was saying 188. Yesterday, he switched to 189, and he was wrong. But let's see what he says today.
Because this is now at 189 countries. That
it is not. It is at 188.
Changes all the time, that number. Our last count is 189 countries, and many of them don't have.
That number does not change all the time. It's been 188 for 6 to 8 weeks now.
Money, and almost all of them don't have a capacity to build a ventilator, which is hard to build, very complex, very expensive, very big in many cases. We've done an incredible job. So we have assembly lines building ventilators, and we're building thousands a week. All of these people are working with governors and local officials to restore best practices, and that's what we've done. That includes face coverings, social distancing, testing, and personal hygiene. Wash your hands. State officials will decide how rapidly to open their economies.
Phil, no. Obama said that we had 57 states. 57. And he corrected himself right after the speech and explained that he was talking about the states, the territories, the protectorates. So he was actually accurate, but he called them all states. So yes, he didn't say states and territories and protectorates. But anyway, if you're going to rag on Obama, at least get your facts right, Phil. Take it to some other room. But actually don't. Please stay here and keep chatting, because the more you chat, the more times you tippity-tip, the more money I make. So I appreciate you, Phil. Stick around.
That's largely up to them. If we see something that's egregious, we've gotten involved with a couple of them where we thought it was unfair. We'd like to see churches opened quickly, and some of them just don't want to do that. In New York, we got a great ruling from a judge, thank you, Judge, that they can open. If these best practices are implemented, then the hot spots can be calmed quickly, and we understand this horrible disease right now. We didn't understand the disease at all. We did the right thing. We closed it up. We would have lost millions of lives.
We understand this disease, and we keep doing the wrong thing.
A historic thing. We would have lost millions of lives. And now we're opening it up, and it's opening up far faster than anybody thought even possible, and more successfully.
Or
and
reasonable.
as I said, you're going to have a fantastic third quarter. It'll be a third quarter the likes of which nobody has ever seen before, in my opinion. And the good thing is the numbers will be coming out just prior.
Is that how things work about the future? It's your opinion?
To the election, so people will be able to see those numbers. The fourth quarter, likewise, will be extremely good, and maybe most importantly, from the standpoint of our country itself, next year will be a historic year. Next year is going to be an incredible year for jobs, for companies, for growth. Things are happening like nobody would have thought possible. I do want to comment, Boeing, as you know, is moving along in their process. It's been a very hard process, a very complicated process, but they have made tremendous gains, and they're going for approvals on the aircraft, on the 737 MAX. They're also starting to do some real business. So,
yeah, great timing, Boeing. Let's get that aircraft out there right now.
I just want to congratulate Boeing. They've been through so much. I think it was probably the greatest company in the world. I used to say it was the greatest company in the world, and then it ran through a very tough period of time. But I just want to say that Boeing has made tremendous progress in a short period of time. And other companies I don't even have to talk about, because they're all setting records. Virtually every one of our great companies is setting records.
GDP down, we don't even know. We don't even know where GDP is down. 20%, 40%. We have no idea right now how far GDP is down. And practically all of our tremendous companies are setting records. For losses? Okay, so part of the, as we talked about earlier, I'll bring it up for you guys, part of the 588,000 jobs that have gone away, the temporary jobs, and that's the real number to look at right here, these 588, where's the mouse? There it is, the 588. Part of that is companies that have gone out of business. These tremendous companies that are setting records, 588,000 employees have no more job. It's not a temporary layoff. The job is gone permanently. 588,000. Last month, it was half that. 295,000. So we're doubling. 295 plus 588 is, and I'm not making these numbers up. These are numbers. That's a lot of people looking for a job. Gone. But again, our companies are setting records, so that's good.
So I want to thank everybody for being here today. These are historic numbers in a time that a lot of people would have wilted. They would have wilted, but we didn't wilt, and our country didn't wilt.
What does that even mean? A lot of people would have, like, for example, had Obama had an epidemic of some kind, you know, like Ebola, he would have wilted. He would have just given up, just left, walked out of the room.
And I'm very honored to be your president. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Andy wilts without taking a question. So that was press conference number 1. Let me go back to the C-SPANner. And he did a rerun of the same thing, I guess, for the West Coast. Let's see. Here we go. Delivers remarks at Spirit of America Showcase. By the way, Pence was on.
Appreciate that question.
Oh, you be quiet. Pence was on talking with Governor DeSantis in Florida, and it's a different reality. Everything is rosy in Florida despite the record numbers. Everything's fantastic. And one of the things that I did learn in that conference, which is actually important, is that the young people, the kids, they are still at a higher asymptomatic rate. The old folks, their rate has stayed about the same. This is according to DeSantis, so take it all with a grain of COVID. The older folks are keeping it about the same rate of positivity in terms of testing, which is good, but really, really bad, because the fact that you are having, what was it today, 9,000 cases or something ridiculous in Florida. Somebody can fact check it if they want to. Only half of those are the kids. The other half includes the old folks, and if they're testing at the same positive rate, that's really, really bad because, well, they're old folks. But the young kids testing at a higher positivity rate and the state's positivity rate going up is good because young people are less susceptible to death, but, of course, they can suffer some dire consequences from it all. Hello, Marshall. Yo, 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 yo. Yeah, I know. Where the plane's going to fly to, RM.
So,
well, they can sell to other companies, or countries, rather. I just did the Trump thing. He always calls countries companies. Here he comes, and he's going to do a totally different thing.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Please. Very nice. Thank you. Big day.
It looks like he's in some sort of display room, like a science fair. There's a Weber grill set up and a Weber display. Businesses across America or something like that.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the beautiful, great.
So funny because Phil, I don't know if he's still here, but Phil said, "Have fun with your 19 followers," and to me that was like, I have 19 followers. Makes me feel special. Really brings out my inner song. Since David's in the room, I notice here, I wanted to go back. I did do a little bit of fact checking and two things. The first thing, yes, for those of you who were with us last night, Tangled is a Disney movie, and I have seen it. The other fact check that I did is, David, you are not Rapunzel. I looked that up. But this is important. Before we get on to the other press conference here we go. I found this website that said things to talk about with your kids after watching the movie Tangled, and one of them, hi Tyra, one of them was, do you think Mother loved Rapunzel, or was he just using her? What about Rapunzel's feeling for Mother? Why did Rapunzel think Flynn wouldn't love her if she didn't have her magical blonde hair anymore? That's a lot of deep issues for kids. And the other one was, so sorry, the first question was the one that struck me. Do you think Mother loved Rapunzel, or was she just using her? Which is like, what kid wants to think about their parents just using them? Hold on just a second. Kevin Lee, daughter, I'm going to need you to sign over the unemployment thing to me. It's just, so I can take care of it. Just, I need your signature on the, and just, I'll take care of the funds. Don't you worry about it. Anyway, apropos of nothing, back we go.
White House, and to host this magnificent showcase of America's incredible small businesses. I just got to witness some beautiful product. Today we received outstanding news from all over our country, really. The United States economy has added almost 5 million new jobs in the month of June. That's shattering all expectations and shattering all records, historic records. History of our country, we've never added anywhere near that.
All records are historic.
And last month we also broke the record, but now we shattered it much higher than even last month. This is the largest monthly job
records are always higher than the previous record.
Gain in history. We added 2 point.
Fact check. No, it's like a record for the lowest score could be a record as well. So I sit corrected.
1 million leisure and hospitality jobs, 740,000 And very importantly to me, because you know what's
We're going to skip through some of this, guys.
happening with manufacturing, or bringing it back.
I think it was for the West Coast feed, Casey. I think he's doing one of those like live for the ratings because you don't know what's going to happen. What's he going to say? What if he makes a mistake?
Because we've made incredible trade deals. So manufacturing jobs are coming back, and we added 356,000 manufacturing jobs. Incredible numbers, all record.
You know, all the factories that shut down because they were becoming COVID hotspots, some of them opened up again. 85 meatpacking workers, at least 85 meatpacking workers died. And Trump forced them to go back to work, not after death. Remember, after death, all you can do is vote. But we lost at least 85 meatpacking workers. I've seen one stat that said 89. And that does not include all of the people in the communities affected by the meatpackers who apparently don't just live at the factory.
African American.
The packing plant, it's not a factory, is it? Can you call it a factory? Anyway.
American workers made historic gains, the likes of which we've never had before.
These are all made-up numbers, and they're numbers in this speech, David. That's what's different about the two. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't watched this one. I watched like 2 minutes of it and was like, well, this is just a rerun. But we'll zoom through. We'll get to it together.
With 404,000 new jobs in June, that's a record. And that's the highest number ever. We had 700,000 new jobs over the last 2 months for African American workers. That's the highest ever. And both months are the highest. We shattered
None of those jobs are new.
last month's record. That was a record, and we shattered.
If he was talking about contact tracers, those jobs could be new, but we're not hiring the contact tracers we need. That's hard. That's why, probably.
Hispanic employment is up by 1.5 million jobs. Great businessmen and women, and since late March, optimistic people, these numbers are being doubled and tripled over what they thought would be possible. We're grateful to be joined today by Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross. Thank you very much. Your stunning craftsmanship, I just witnessed some of it. It's incredible. It's treasured and prized all over the world. The product you make is like none other. And your spirit for America and the greatness of our country.
A Coleman or a Weber grill is just like all the other Weber and Coleman grills on the planet.
Country is unrivaled.
Now,
With us are
we're rivaled by everybody.
workers who make decorative American flags from Virginia, fly fishing reels from Florida, grills from Illinois, pies from North Carolina look very good to me, coffee from Oklahoma, ice cream from Maryland, and sunscreen and baseball bats from Texas. With unmatched skill and devotion, you make the goods and build the products that proudly bear the wonderful phrase, made in the USA. You're seeing that more and more, made in the USA. We're bringing our jobs back because of trade deals. We have great trade deals, and jobs are coming back.
I think he said ties, but I heard pies as well. Did he say pies? Let's go back.
Phrase, and baseball bats from Texas, pies from North Carolina look very good to
He said pies. Hold on, guys. You watch.
me. Coffee from Oklahoma, ice cream from Maryland, and sunscreen and baseball bats from Texas. With unmatched skill and devotion, you make the goods and build the products that proudly bear the wonderful phrase, made in the USA. You're seeing that more and more, made in the USA. We're bringing our jobs back because of trade deals. We have great trade deals, and jobs are coming back. And we have a lot of great trade deals right now under negotiation. We got to get them done as quickly as possible. The small businesses represented in this room continue.
Yeah, the official transcript says pies from North Carolina. They look very good to me. So, yeah, I mean, who doesn't love pies?
A great and noble American heritage. Your entrepreneurs, artisans, creators, craftsmen who forged your own path, made your own products, and provide good-paying jobs for our citizens. Incredible jobs, incredible people, and they truly are artisans. And you're doing it all with American hands, American heart, and American pride. Several of these companies are entirely veteran-owned and operated. Especially as we approach Independence Day, I want to thank the courageous men and women who've served their country in uniform. We vow to honor your sacrifice by forever defending the rights, freedoms, and principles you risk your entire life to defend. Following the arrival of the plague from China, that's what it is, it's a plague, and it should have never happened. China should have never let that happen. But China did allow it to happen. We just signed a brand new trade deal, and the ink wasn't even dry when this came over. But we raced into action to save our nation's small businesses. We passed over $3 trillion in historic relief measures. $3 trillion, think of that. Including over $670 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, a tremendous success, as you can see by the numbers. To keep small business workers on the payroll. I signed a bill providing federally funded...
There, he just admitted it. It's government subsidies. This is socialism.
...paid sick leave and paid family leave for American workers. Things that have never been done. We're allowing businesses to defer paying their income tax, and we expanded tax refunds very substantially. Thanks to our efforts and the incredible resilience of our nation's small businesses, and I really think we can add the foundation that we built. We built the greatest economy ever built.
Nope.
And that foundation was so strong that instead of coming...
that it completely collapsed.
...weakly back or going in the other direction, because this is coming back, and we haven't totally succeeded yet. We will soon, but we haven't killed all of the virus yet. And yet, you look at these numbers, and that's based on a very strong foundation that we built, a foundation like no other, a foundation that, had we not been attacked...
Oh, yeah, if this was debate team or something, an actual need to make a real speech, he would be laughed out of the room.
...by this virus, this horrible virus, we were doing things and had things planned that nobody else had ever even thought of. Paying off debt, building numbers, the likes of which nobody's doing things and had...
This is what I've said. The virus is a gift for Trump because it gives him an excuse for all of his screw-ups. And now he's going to claim that he had all these plans for paying off the national debt. He increased the deficit by 50%. Our deficit under Obama was 50%. Well, the math doesn't work that way, but he increased it by 50%. The math does work there. Our deficit last year was going to be $1 trillion. No idea what it's going to be this year because we're having to give out subsidies and socialize PPP and bonuses and all this other stuff. All this socialism that's going to all add to the national debt. And it's like nobody even cares anymore. And why? The virus. And he built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
Things planned that nobody else had ever even thought of. Paying off debt, building numbers, the likes of which nobody's seen.
Building numbers. Not numbers he's making up. These are numbers that he's going to build.
And yet next year we'll be in a position where I believe in a certain respect, I think we'll even be stronger than we would have been because of what we're doing. But only that strong foundation allowed us to be up here today talking about these record-setting job numbers and other numbers that we're producing.
They're only record-setting because it was so bad.
Because America's economy is now roaring back to life like nobody's ever seen before.
It's like starving for a month, fasting for a month. You've lost 35 pounds and somebody hands you Domino's. Oh my God, that is the best pizza I've eaten. Is that pepperoni? Are there sausages on here?
Nobody's ever seen numbers like this. In May, retail sales surged by nearly 18%. That's a record. We recently saw the best...
I want to build 69 because I was born in 69.
50-day increase in the history of the stock market. So we had 50 days, go back a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
we had 50 days, the likes of which we've never had in the history of the stock market, which to me means jobs.
Again, stock market
and it's lifting up 401ks and retirement savings for American workers. We're doing numbers like nobody's ever seen before.
Now they're doing numbers like You know what number I'd like to do?
Or take a look at 401ks. In a pandemic,
401s. Those are numbers.
we're
K. That's a letter. Kevin starts with K.
almost even with where we were before the pandemic started, and nobody would have said that was possible. Nobody at all. We built the greatest
All right, Danielle, you're going to have to start censoring people over in the chat room. I don't like what's happening here.
economy in the history of the world, and we are now doing it again. And I think we'll do even better the second time than we did the first time, unless somebody comes along and says, let's raise taxes on everybody. And they're raising taxes not only on corporations, they'll just go to another country and they'll do just fine, but they're raising taxes on people.
So Trump tells other corporations that they can just go to another country and they'll do just fine.
And middle-income people, and they're losing jobs. So you can't allow that to happen. That will
Keep in mind that the middle class was going to get a 10% tax cut after the midterms. He said very quickly after the midterms, at a short period of time.
be all of this incredible job that we've done will go down like that. It will be a terrible, terrible sight. It might even be a 1929 situation, so you have a chance to have the greatest numbers in history. You're almost there. We're almost back to where we were from the standpoint of the stock market. Think of that. But you'll have a crash like you've never seen before. You put the wrong person in office, you'll see things that you would not have believed are possible.
Really? Would it be a worse crash than this? See how it goes down like that. Do you see that? Nobody's ever seen anything like no one has ever seen anything like that. That is the quickest crash of employment numbers in the history of the world. With the possible exception of Pompeii.
They want to raise taxes. They want to raise regulations. You know, a big part of what we've done is by cutting regulation. We've cut regulation more than any president in the history of our country, whether they're there for 4 years, 8 years,
or in one case
more than that. Nobody even came close. And we're doing much more. We have regulation, but it's proper regulation, not strangulation. We're also tapping into the talent, genius, and the drive of our
imagination
people to kill the virus. We're speeding the delivery of new treatments, including antiviral steroids, convalescent plasma, and other therapies. We have therapeutics that are really, really looking good. And this includes 2 drugs that have proven effective, remdesivir and dexamethasone, which is having a tremendous trial.
What?
Have proven effective.
I think they broke up the name for him.
Remdesivir and dexamethasone, which is having a tremendous.
Does anybody know if that's the right way to pronounce that? I've only read it. I've never heard it pronounced.
Trial, and we'll see how that all happens. But we have 3 vaccine candidates. We've had many more, but 3 are really, really looking good. And I think you're going to have an answer to that very soon. 3 vaccine candidates are now in trial, with 3 more to start very shortly. These are all great companies. They've had tremendous success with other problems in the past. And we're accelerating production through Operation Warp Speed. Plus, we have our military ready so that should we get, whether it's therapeutic or vaccine, our military is ready, logistically ready. These are the best in the world to get it out to everybody as soon as we have it. And we think we're going to have it soon. As we prepare to celebrate the 4th of July, let us renew our devotion to this nation, to its citizens, and the eternal values that define our past and shape our future. I'm going to Mount Rushmore on July 3rd. We're going to have a tremendous evening. It's going to be a fireworks display like few people have seen. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be beautiful. They've been wanting to do that for years, fireworks. They used to do it many years ago, and for some reason they were unable or unallowed to do it. They just weren't allowed.
There were a couple of reasons. Number one, they were setting off all kinds of fires, and the National Forest Service kept saying, stop it, because Mount Rushmore is surrounded by flammable wood. That's how it works. And especially in a dry year, things go up. Literally dozens of fires start because of the fireworks. The other reason is because the fireworks were polluting the groundwater. And the EPA said, hey, this stuff kills humans. Let's not have it in such a high level. And okay, well then we won't have fireworks at Mount Rushmore. But Trump turned that all around because fuck people.
To do it. And I opened it up, and we're going to have a tremendous July 3rd, and then we're coming back here celebrating the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. And I want to also thank all of law enforcement. The job you've done is incredible. We signed a bill. You play with our monuments or our statues, you go to jail for 10 years.
If we play with them?
It's amazing how it all stops so fast. Stops so fast. We let the local authorities handle it as long as possible, but
he signed that executive order, what, about a week ago, guys? And every day I'm seeing more and more statues being vandalized. So I don't know that it all stops so fast. And, like, how many statues are left, quite honestly?
Ultimately, we said, let's step in, and we stepped in, and it stopped. 10 years in jail if they do what they were doing. So we're very proud of law enforcement. We want to thank law enforcement. Really great job. Our military has been incredible. Our
Oh, it's going to come, Devin. It's going to come.
National Guard has been just incredible all over. I'm glad
I want to make a number with a monument.
to see in Seattle they took care of the problem because as they know we were going in to take, we were ready to go in.
No, wasn't. Okay, he just talked about the National Guard taking care of the problem in Seattle. It wasn't. It was 100 police officers. And like I've explained this many, many times. Let's see, a courtesy of At Random here. This is Chaz in Seattle. That's it. That little pink dot right there. So what they did, and you can find this online, is basically the police just marched through there in the morning, cleared out all the tents and everything else. Pretty much everybody but the homeless had kind of given up on it already. So they just cleared everything out and hosed it down, and that was that. There were no National Guard. No one fired shots.
And they knew that too. And they went in and they did what they had to do.
No, they
We're
didn't.
a nation committed to
police
equal and
officers.
abundant opportunity for citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed. The American dream is the sacred birthright
$12,000 says he doesn't know what a creed is.
of every American child. And that's what we have, is we have the American dream. And nobody's going to shatter the American dream, not the anarchists, not the agitators, not the fools, not the looters. They're not going to have any impact on the national dream like no other. That's why we're here today, to ensure that every citizen can achieve their dream, achieve their destiny, and realize their full and extraordinary potential. That is how we will renew, rebuild, and restore America. We've done an incredible job in a 3.5-year period, a job like nobody thought would be possible to be done. And we're doing it again, and we're doing it, I believe, bigger and better and stronger than ever before. You're going to see that next year. And unless it's tampered with, we're going to have a year next year like no other. It'll be a phenomenal year, successful year. And we'll have our best job numbers ever next year. We'll come back stronger and more prosperous than ever before. And next year will be, I think it'll be one of the, from an economic standpoint, the greatest or one of the greatest economic years we've ever had. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Here will be, I think it'll be one of the, from an economic standpoint, ever next year. We're covered with, we're going to have a year next year like no other. It'll be a phenomenal year, successful year. And we'll have our best job numbers ever next year. We'll come back stronger and
from an economic 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 from an economic. Is anyone still here?
more prosperous than ever before. And next year will be, I think it'll be one of the, from an economic standpoint, the greatest or one of the greatest economic years we've ever had. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank all of these incredible artisans and business people for showcasing your amazing products. And I just want to leave you by saying very important words. God bless America. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, are you taking... Sir, will you be wilting today? Are you... If only that light was heaven. From an economic do-do-do-do-do. From an economic do-do-do-do. Okay, guys, that's it for this. And we do have 2 interviews. And I'm debating if I should just go to one of those interviews now or come back with it. You know what we're going to do? Rich, if you're still here, we're going to touch Billy Joel because I don't know who won. We've got The Stranger against Sega. No, Stranger's gone. We got Vienna against Say Goodbye to Hollywood, and it was tied the last time I looked. I haven't looked at it since. So, Rich, if you're still here... Oh, there's Rich. Okay, he's in here. Rich, let's do this quickly. For those of you who don't know, we do this thing called Billy Joel Madness, where we take the top 64 Billy Joel songs, and we come to one at the end. Right now, we're in the Sweet 16, and the vote we had a couple of days ago on Twitter was Vienna against Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Let's see if I can find that. There it is. Boom. Once I get rid of this will give us our answer. I'm going to zoom in, and first we're going to do the intro, if I can make that work. This is from producer Rich Mack, Billy Joel Madness. Oh, there it is, huh? Yeah, that's Rich Mack. That's Rich Mack's name on there. That's right. All right. So, Hollywood, Vienna. Who's it going to be? Should we say goodbye to Vienna, or will we be returning to Hollywood? I certainly won't be. Well, it's record cases. Oh, no, I will. Okay, so let's go to this. There we go. And I'm going to get rid of that right there, and it should come up fairly quickly. That's not it. Let's go to the latest, because it'll be under the latest. And... right there. Vienna takes it! 55-45. Hold on. Kevin Lee Daughter, are you here? Nope. She's not in the room. So Vienna continues on. And let me pull up the brackets here. Vienna won. She gave me a thumbs up. She's got a sore throat. Let's go to... there it is. And let me bring it up right here. So Vienna takes it 55 to Hollywood, and that sets up a battle in the next round between Don't Ask Me Why and Vienna in the Elite Eight. And then down the next, oh my God, look at this match right here. I'm going to make Only the Good Die Young against Piano Man. So let me get that up right now. Let's see. How do I make a new tweet now? There's a new tweet, and... Billy Joel Madness, and it was Only the Good Die Young versus, I mean, how can anyone beat Piano Man, right? That's Billy's song. But stranger things have happened. Let me grab the full bracket over here. Got it. Coming back. Full bracket here, and then I have to put the vote up here. I'm going to copy and paste that to save time. Only the Good against Piano Man. That'll go for 24 hours, so get on there now and get your vote in for Piano Man versus Only the Good Die Young. I think Piano Man's going to take this. I don't know. And that's a good point, Rich. That could be a final right there. I don't control this. Did that go up there? Let me refresh the page there. I want to make sure the vote got up there. And there it is right now. So far, no votes. It's tied. We've got a tiebreaker, guys. And I want somebody go there and vote right now because I want to see if it actually adjusts in real time as we're doing this. I think it does. I think we were watching it the other day, but it wasn't making any sense whatsoever. It's all rigged. It's completely rigged. And if you want to, go ahead and vote by mail. Yeah, Rich, Piano Man... David rigged the vote yesterday. Kevin Maxwell has to be mentioned tonight. Who's Kevin Maxwell? Green Room. Let's talk. Oh, Only the Good Die Young. Let's end the voting right there. Wow, what a surprise. Shocker. Moving on to the next round. David, you hope they both lose. You are such a Rapunzel. Yeah, so Stephanie plays piano, and Stephanie daughter makes logos. Should we talk about a haircut fundraiser? Dr. Howard wants to have a haircut fundraiser. Now Piano Man's taken over. So yeah, this does go in real time. This is my broadcast right here. I'm just gonna sit back and just have people vote on things. Actually, that's not a bad idea for Kevin Lee Daughter. You could just like, which one, dogs or cats? And then you sit there with a real Twitter poll going in the background and just talk about your day, or, you know, basically what I do. So I finally got a hold, for the first time since March 12th, I got a hold of California unemployment to try and address Kevin Lee's daughter situation. And I spoke to a person. And then they said, we need proof of your ID. And I said, Kevin Lee Daughter, bring me your passport. And she said, I don't know where it is. So good news there. So, and for those of you who missed it, I did get a hold of Washington Unemployment, and I verified my ID, and I sent them tax paperwork, and da-da-da-da, and they said overnight it'll process and you'll get your unemployment released. And so I 14 weeks later, I got $108 submitted into my bank account. So I don't need any of you patrons anymore. And if anybody needs a loan or what, just let me know. Send me a DM and I'll do what I can. If you'd like to keep contributing, and I hope you do, or you'd like to become a new contributor to the broadcast, please go to kevinleefather.com. You can donate there. Let's go back to the main. Oh, first off, one more time, why don't we just give Rich Matt some credit here? I don't know that we can. Yes, we can. There it is. Rich Matt. I think at Random was telling me something about the music on the broadcast that was too loud or whatever. So if it happened again, let me know. I know, filthy rich at this point, too. I feel like I should be voting Republican and saying all lives matter. With $108 in my pocket? That's what happens, man. It goes right to your head. Speaking of going to my head, I'm almost out of rum. And I'm going to see you guys probably later today. We got 2 interviews to get to. So I'm going to take a quick break and then come back. What time is it? 4:12 here. So maybe 5 p.m. Let me survey the landscape and see what's going on. Right now, Piano Man is up 71-28, which is as it should be. Only 7 votes so far, and that's probably you guys in the chat room. So, yeah, Andy, get some good sleep. Andy's over in Europe where they've done this to the virus. We didn't even look at states. No time because we're going to do the Trump interviews a little while later. Andy, would you like us to do the Trump interviews tonight? Andy is a producer. He's not, but I'm just going to say he's producer. Andy, do you want us to do the interviews tomorrow? In fact, I'll let you guys vote. I'll let the producers vote because there is supposed to be delineation. So Rich is in the room. Joanne is in the room. Should we do the Trump interviews from yesterday in about an hour, or should we do them tomorrow so that our European companions can join in? So, guys, I'll let you vote. Producers? I saw producer Joanna in here. She's usually in, and then she's gone like 5 minutes later. Tonight. Okay, well, that's a producer telling me tonight. So we will cover that. I'm going to say about 5 p.m. There's some interesting stuff in there. Again, it's 2 interviews of a lot of the same stuff, but there's also some nuggets in there. I won't say gold. Yeah, that's right, Joanna. As producer Joanna points out, screw you, Europe. We can't come to you. We're going to broadcast while you're asleep. Boom. Right now, the headlines in the UK are being written. United States strike back. Tonight. Okay, everybody wants tonight. All right, Ruth Ann. All right, Danielle. We'll do it tonight. So probably around 5 p.m. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys in a little bit. And here are some closing credits. They're still not updated because, I fixed a dishwasher. I was on unemployment hold for I don't know how many hours. Anyway, here we go.
Kevin, tell us what you got. Okay, we don't have Kevin.